A year ago last Friday, Daniel Rowe was murdered as he took out the trash in an alley behind the restaurant.
Now 25-year-old Erron Coleman is charged with a crime which police say grew out of a robbery. Coleman, who has a long record, is already in jail on an unrelated arrest. Police have not said if he is the one who fired the fatal shots, but they revealed they are still looking for a second suspect. Rowe's family talked about this break-in, the case with Ethan Callaway, but we begin our coverage with Scott Johnson, who has more on the arrest. Scott?
Mary, police say, as you said, two men are responsible, and they were finally able to get the break they needed to charge the one they know about, Erron Coleman, who has a lengthy criminal arrest record. This started late last year when police got a tip on Crime Stoppers that he may have been involved. Coincidentally, Erron Coleman was already locked up on burglary charges at the time. Since then, police and prosecutors have been working to build a case, which they did by getting a confidential informant inside the jail to help make recordings inside his cell that impacted Coleman in the murder.
This case was brought together by tips from the community, by somebody pointing us in the right direction. As I've stood up before you many times on cases, I've talked about it's that one little piece of the puzzle that we may need. And I asked for seemingly innocuous information to come forward, and in this particular case, that one particular thing pointed us in the right direction.
And so the person who made that tip is eligible for a $13,000 reward. All they have to do is call in, and police don't know who it is. The way Crime Stoppers is set up, the tipster remains anonymous and no one gets access to their information, but they can get that money. So police still looking for a second suspect in this case. They still have $3,000 in the Crime Stoppers account as a cash reward for anyone who can help lead to a second arrest. Of course, the number for Crime Stoppers, 1-866-845. tips. If you have any information like this last one, you can remain anonymous, but no word yet on whether Coleman has been helpful in IDing this second person, but so far it appears not. We're live at police headquarters. Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
Daniel Rowe's mother says this news is bittersweet. She was standing next to Chief Hackney, as you saw, as he made the announcement, and she spoke with Channel 4's Ethan Callaway, who's joining us now live from Riverside. Ethan?
And Tom, just this weekend, loved ones were holding a vigil right here at the Blind Rabbit near the site of Daniel's death. And of course, today comes word of this arrest. Daniel's family was there at JSO headquarters downtown today as this announcement was made. They were understandably very emotional over the news that they've waited a year for, especially Daniel's mother. Erron Rowe took time to thank JSO for its work and support over the past year. She cried as she hugged director Tom Hackney today, as you saw at the top of the newscast, along with her family. I caught up with her right after that news conference, and she talked about what it means to have JSO make this arrest today.
It's a bittersweet day. We have won. There's still more work to be done, and we will stand behind them and let them do their jobs until we get to the end of it.
And as Scott mentioned, that second suspect is still out there. Daniel's mother told me she pleads with that person to turn himself in and do the right thing coming forward in this case. We're live in Riverside this afternoon. Ethan Callaway, Channel 4, the local station.